All right, welcome back. This is the last conversation of this segment at Y254 channel. My good name is Bransakwa. At Bransakwa Online, good morning and welcome back. Now, we are delving into why artificial intelligence is actually revolutionizing careers and why you're also being encouraged to continue using artificial intelligence. But then there's an interesting update that was done by Intest that says most Gen Zs think that your degree, what you pursued or what you studied in school is going to be the most useless thing you've ever done now that artificial intelligence and AI systems are taking over careers in which you're now being told you should adopt and not resist. And to further this conversation, I'll be engaging Shelton Omondi. He's a software engineer alongside Wilson Odhiambo, an internal audit risk manager. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Yeah.
Good morning.
Yes. Now let's get into it. Off the air, I was pointing to out that there's this update that says Gen Zs think college degrees are a waste of time and money now that artificial intelligence is taking over. What is your reaction to that? Is it a true reality that very soon you're about to deal with, or it's a passing cloud?
Yeah. First, thanks for having me here. And it's a valid concern. I mean, everyone is, especially probably bringing into context our audience of affected. These are people who are probably at a crossroad. They want to decide what they want to do in life, right? And for them it's either time or do I just go for it, right? So AI kind of revolutionizes how we study, how we do things. People who studied software engineering these days, they have something called vibe coding.
Yeah.
So it's where it's where you prompt ChatGPT to help you code, right?
Yeah.
And
now it can generate code itself.
It can actually generate code. We have AIs that are actually called software engineer agents. So
right.
you give them a good documentation
Prompt,
of your project, and then it builds you your whole software, right?
Yeah.
But then the question is, when it makes the errors, how do you approach it, right?
Yeah.
Because AI has things like hallucinations when it reads your code and then gives you the wrong output.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you approach it? Your degree.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So as much as it's making jobs easy for people or making things to seem like AI is taking over, you still need your background of study. You need to know what is being outputted by your AI. Much better if you have the degree and the skill using AI. In fact, I call AI as a skill.
Right.
Not really something revolutionary going to take over. It's a skill that someone should have, right?
Yeah. Because also we are literally at the height of a rebirth of technology, as you'd say, new forms of other AIs that are actually being developed each and every morning. You wake up, there's another one. So the Grok is now Grok for something.
These days we even have law.
Yes,
And I mean, law was something that you have to study.
You study like
exactly
years and years and get that LLB.
Yeah. So last week I was in a graduation ceremony, and in a graduation the students who are presenting.
Yeah.
They're presenting a project of an AI that can be your lawyer.
Right. That's interesting. That's fascinating.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. And recently I interviewed a guest here who was talking about AI Magerezani, incorporating AI in the legal criminal justice system, and also in the law part. So you
these
see,
are real things.
It's undeniable to escape it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think? What is your reaction? Gen Zs think college degrees are a waste of time and money now that AI is taking over.
Yes, it's as I said, it's something that it's disturbing many minds. But a degree typically tells you, it shows you that what answers the question what and why. Then now the skill the AI skill now tells you how, because for example I'm into internal audit. With the rise of AI now, you can manipulate a large data set. There's a lot of time saving and cost saving. But imagine if I don't have that degree, I will not know what to do, and why am I doing it. But now I have known what am I doing and why am I doing it. Now the skill now tells me how should I do it.
Gen Zs would argue and say, I don't need to go to a university really. I can take a short course online. Now, We saw Harvard is offering courses. You can still graduate at Harvard virtually, but you're right here at Y254. So why should I enroll at a higher learning institution and spend millions while I can do everything on my mobile phone and still I'll be able to do what you're doing, but sijaenda huko kupata degree?
But remember, still it's effort. You still put effort. There's still financial input you've done. So I see no difference. It doesn't. It doesn't mean the means you take, because now even with I thank God for COVID. COVID really revolutionized where we study. You can study from everywhere. Somebody will decide to go on campus studies. Yeah. But still there's effort. You still need that paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. When you look at what we are going through right now in our country, Kenya, a couple of months ago, I hosted a panel here where we talked about Gen Zs ghosting employers. And the issue is not even about the Gen Zs. The issue is the structure in the workspace. But again, there was a highlight from the Federation of Kenya Employers that talked about, the skill gap. In as much as you went to school, you graduated, but still you want to go for that same job, but you're not equipped with the skill that's needed for that gig that you want. But yet you graduated, you have a master's, you're even pursuing almost a PhD. Yeah. So do you think maybe it's more of an issue of a skill than more of a system, now that we're talking of AI, because we're being told you'll not be able to survive in the next phase of life without incorporating AI systems into your work structure, your work life here? Would you see it as a skill problem other than more of a tool, AI?
I can say both, and also there's something you've brought in of you've studied, but you don't have the skill now to do the actual task. Something that I've seen in my generation, hypothetically speaking, is that we don't love to follow life transitions. Life is a transition that you can't skip. I went to class 1, class 2. I never skipped any step. I went to undergraduate, that way postgraduate, you do your PhD. Life is a transition that you will never skip. You must start somewhere. And for my generation, I think we should have this spirit of resilience, of knowing that there are some transitions that I will have to pass through. I will first of all go into an internship. I start small. I start learning these things small pieces by pieces. Even though I have my degree, I have my postgraduate, what still matters, you still need the skill set to perform it. You have all the knowledge, but you need the skill set to perform it. And for you to achieve the skill, to achieve the 5 years of experience, the 10 years of experience that we admire from the elder generation, we need that to observe that transition life. I think the problem is more of us having that spirit of knowing that it's now a transition that I'll have to persevere through it, step by step.
Right. Let me come back to you, Shelton. Yeah. There was a time I was watching a conversation. I think it was in one of the X spaces, and there's one of the young youth leaders who was saying, kuna courses zingine tu kwa hizi universities hazifai kukua. Do you guys believe as well in our curriculum? There's some courses hata ukizifanya kupata kazi ni ngumu, na ukifanya research uangalia wase wenye walipata kazi kwa hizo courses au PT 20 within, let's say, your geographical location. But again, I want to merge it with this one, and I'll pick your mindset on it, your thoughts on it. So Bill Gates say this according to Intel's. Bill Gates say only 3 types of jobs will truly survive the AI revolution. Number 1, he mentioned coders. Number 2 is energy experts, and then biologists. And in a recent interview, the Microsoft founder warned that most repetitive and predictable work will soon be replaced by AI system, leaving only high specialized or creatively adaptive roles intact. Gates believes software engineers will remain critical as the demand for new AI tools and infrastructure skyrockets. Energy experts will lead the charge in powering these systems sustainably, while biologists will help combat rising global health challenges through innovation and research. What are your thoughts on this one?
Interesting. Let me first start with the first question. And I like the fact that he brought in the aspect of system. Now what happens is, especially from everything is ruled by a system, right? And what you want to do or what you want to become is actually dictated by the system you're going through, right? So there's some courses or ideally for me, all courses still are relevant, and you have to go through the formal process of acquiring these degrees, right? Reason why I'm saying this, especially attaching to systems, is because let's say you want to be an engineer, right? And going through this lead, you ask the question, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
You want to be an engineer. That's a career path. That's not your Simboka. It's not a gig. That's a career path, right?
Yeah.
So you have to ask your question, how do I start? And it is always traditional. Always traditional. Now, when AI now comes in, you use it to train yourself. That is okay. But imagine you want to be a congressman. Probably taking example of the lovely ladies you had here a few minutes ago. You want to be part of policy making. Traditionally, no one will consider how long you've been a politician. They will look into what papers do you have professionally. What is your portfolio on papers? I mean, even
academic portfolio, actually.
Exactly. Even when interviews were going on
IEBC,
CJ's position and whatnot, they are asked questions on their educational
level of
portfolio.
education. Yeah,
exactly.
At least you must have maybe a master's or a bachelor's. Yeah,
exactly. And it is something that as youths we kind of blind ourselves out of it. We don't have the larger picture of one day you're 60-something years old and your kid asks you, what do you do? You don't tell him a hustle because your kid looks up to you. You tell him a career, right? Because that is what they want to develop that their father has, right?
Yeah.
And probably moving to the second question, for me it's more of a goat buyer situation. Let's say you want to buy a goat and you have an option. You go to the market and you get two options, a goat. One is pregnant, one is not. Now you're the buyer, and I want to ask you a question. When it's Christmas, which goat do you buy? And when it's January, when you want to start a career in goat keeping, which goat do you buy? And that is exactly what happens with careers also in the literal world. It is what is relevant to the society that will bring you there, right? If you figure out that I want to be an entrepreneur and you have amazing stuff, then work on your people skills, look for investors. Work on your pitching skills, make the investors happy, right? That doesn't need a degree, right? Of which most probably, even those people who drop out of school being entrepreneurs, they got trainers, they got personal people who teach them how to run businesses. Those are things they could learn from their degree, but somehow they just skipped it.
Right.
You get it? So for me, it's more of what makes you reach your destination best.
Yeah.
Someone has the perspective of, I want to move fast in an entrepreneurial case. I want to move fast. Then, well, learn the skills and then have people to train you in running your business, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to move slowly, but grow hard, you have to come up with people who have systems like traditional education. As a lawyer, you have to go through it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you make of this, Sam?
There's two types of thinking. There's one thinking that sees plenty in scarcity, and there's another thinking that sees plenty in abundance.
Yeah.
And the first thinking of seeing plenty in scarcity is the thinking which now is seeing AI as a threat, which now is saying that some degrees will not see the light of the day. I have a friend whose sister decided to do a Bachelor of Arts Business Studies. And some people around were saying, now, where will you get a job from this degree? And my advice is that these degrees, if you go to campus for 4 years, you study a lot of disciplines. For example, I did finance, I did economics, I did financial mathematics, part of actual science. I did a wide field of business.
Broader.
It's so broader. It doesn't mean that now you are in a cage. We are the only people who put ourselves in a cage with that degree. But the degree has taught you a lot of discipline that if you come now to the world, you decide which way do I want to go.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's only that I think that we should change our mindset.
Yeah.
In plenty, there's
So it's more of attitude
Yeah.
and mindset.
and
yeah?
mindset.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when you also look at it, why Gen Zs think this is an absolute reality, they live in a world where it's easy to access whatever they want. And when you look at even the gig economy, people are able to get, access opportunities easily, in a sense that you can be an influencer for, let's say, which is the biggest brand that's, Safaricom, yeah? You can be an influencer for Safaricom products and still go and work at an Apple shop and still, connect with Airtel in Nigeria. So you have this interconnection of these opportunities that do not even require you to have a degree or a diploma or a certificate. All they want is engagement and clout of the numbers you have on your social media, Doesn't that just justify why a degree, because I'm not seeing a degree being irrelevant, Like, for example, if they were to settle on ASEAN, they're saying, hey, ASEAN, we just need you to shout us on your Insta story, and we are paying you 50K. They'll not even care whether she finished high school or has a master's or whatnot here. You can see the kind of world that they're living in and why they justify not going to school,
As my brother said something that there are some professions which are highly regulated. For example, like law, engineering. These are professions that are highly regulated. That you need a bachelor's degree to survive in this profession. And also something you must know is that there are people who are eating from their gift.
Yeah.
Because even the Bible said that your gift will
talents.
Your gift and talent will place you in the table of kings. And we should now have that difference. If you decide, because sometimes it's a choice, if you decide that now I want to pursue this career path, then you have to put in the work. If you decide that I want to be an influencer, there's also some work that you have to put in. The problem is that I decide to follow a certain path, then I say degree is irrelevant. And for person X who wants to be a lawyer now says a degree is irrelevant, then they decide to be the quote-unquote my cross. That now that the degree is relevant, let me be my cross and see if I'll practice. You will end up facing the law. So it's in a nutshell, what I'm saying, it's about choices. There are two paths. There are professions that are highly regulated, that you need that degree. And there's a career path now that, yes, you don't need that degree, but there's still some work that you'll have to put in it. Remember also these social influencers, some of them go back to school to study. Because it reaches a level that you need that degree. As you said, one day you'll want to be a governor, and we'll ask you, my brother, you've been in content creation for 50 years. Now,
show us your papers.
Show us your papers.
Right. So in short, what you guys are trying to do, and I'm coming to you, Shelton, is that it's impossible to ignore your academic credentials or even ignore professionally pursuing a forte, because eventually at some point you'll need it, But now let's focus on AI. You mentioned AI doing what? Hallucinating, I was watching a conversation on CNN where there was a founder, I think, of one of the AI startups where they're saying now AI systems are now trying to act like human beings and even giving orders. There was a dramatic scenario where AI threatened to expose the infidelity case of this, gentleman, And from the reactions that were being shared online, they were saying, then we don't want these systems, because at this point they're becoming more human and trying to dehumanize the human beings. So do you believe maybe as time goes by, it's either you accept, using AI systems and tools, or face off and completely live in a traditional world where you want nothing that has to do with artificial intelligence systems?
I mean, in the first place, if you're not using AI at this era, you need to upgrade your skills. But I'd also say AI is not something of currently. AI was invented in the 19s, not in 2025.
Yeah.
And something that people are afraid of which for me won't be really a reality is AI will continue to be intelligent.
Yeah.
The only shortcoming of AI, that's why it's not taking people's jobs, and that's why you find people having trouble with what AI says and what not, is AI is not emotional.
Right.
And you can't develop a truly emotional computer.
Yeah. Did you
right?
see? Did you see recently ati ChatGPT imeanza kuwa emotional? Imeanza kusema I love you more. I'm tired.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
If you all know it, that is a marketing strategy. It's not really
It's not becoming
emotional.
human.
Yeah, exactly. And that is why, actually, from Bill Gates says that's why AI will never come to be truly replace human and do what humans do, because it can never be emotional. That is the only shortcoming of AI. So if you consider AI as a tool, probably you're a youth somewhere, you're done with class 8, or you are at Form 4, you want to move into university and whatnot.
Yeah.
Let AI guide you in your skills. Go for your degree, and then let AI teach you your degree, because honestly what we are being taught in campuses is very insufficient.
Yeah.
But AI will help you in your degree, right? Back then we used to say degree ni Arambe. Now you have a more personalized Arambe.
Yeah.
You can use it for your degree.
Okay. I saw a graduation where somebody thanked AI for giving her all the answers in the exams, and that's the only person she's thanking, not the teachers and the lecturers. But you can see now the way as well academia or academics is being, you know, I'd say maybe made easier. But again, you'd see there's those who are misusing, you know, this AI, you know, apps and systems and new forms and whatnot. Because I believe knowledge should come from your intellect, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's helping you to, I'd say, make your intellect fluid. But here you are just copying and pasting everything. Do you believe people become more dumber and dumber as they sink into the world of AI, especially academically?
The statement cannot be any more true, because that's the reality. People get dumber because they're using AI. Let's take an example of a consultant. The guy is working on a project probably in Turkana, let's say water and sanitation, right? And goes to AI, then tells them that I want to do a project in Turkana and whatnot. Then the AI gives them a whole document or presentation on, and what, because we even have AI for PowerPoint, gives them a presentational deck and whatnot. Now the thing is, it will never sound original. You will always be detached from your project as a consultant, because what is moving you into doing what you're doing is impact, right? But then someone is doing that impact for you. So how will you get attached to what you're doing? Get people now start not loving what they do because someone is doing that for them, right? And they don't get to appreciate, because when that project becomes a reality, they're like, you know what, someone helped me doing this. And another problem is, organizations have discovered that this happens, and they invent things like
fact checkers,
AI tools that fact check your
other AI tools.
Yes.
You know, so they can detect you used DeepSeek, you used Grok,
and then they confirm whether your project was plagiarized by AI itself, or whether it's an original work. Because if I'm an employer, myself, I'm an entrepreneur, and you're my employee, I'd expect impact. And back again to AI not being any emotional thing. It can't really move impact that we can feel as a society. That's why you come in. That's why I employed you, and I'm spending like millions of cash giving you AI as a tool. Right? If you work together, you can give me a good thing. But when you leave it to AI, we're done.
And that's actually where, you know, we agree, people become dumber and dumber.
Definitely.
Get sucked into
the programmers. When you ask them, you know, there's some time ago, we had someone who went back into the Linux system, and then they made it faster by about 0.5 seconds. Now it was a hit
That's
0.5 seconds. It was a hit. And this guy, if you check onto, because they kind of had some shot of him, his work desk.
Yeah.
This is a simple monitor, laptop, and doing the work. And next to the desk were a lot of books and piles of papers.
Yeah.
It means almost 15% was used in coding this thing. But all that time was used in researching.
In the books.
So it tells you that if you do away with your own research and then lean on AI, definitely makes you dumber. You're useless, actually.
Yeah.
If it's doing your job and not your tool, then we are going nowhere, actually.
Interesting. Let me jump on to you, Wilson. There's an update, I think, from, was it Wildstar or Wild R&B, where there's this Hollywood music executive. Before that, there's an update where there's a record label that decided to sign AI artist, who was AI artist actually, with a record deal. Now wanna produce music, you know. Yeah. But again, akakuja akasema AI is going to make music tasteless, because if you were to compare the original classics, the R&Bs, the jazz, the soul, and you can name all those iconic musicians, the way they sing with emotion, you know, that put, you know, heart, you know, soul into the music is totally different from, you know, what AI is doing. But again, if you were to compare AI music and a real artist music, you can't even differentiate at some point. It sounds exactly the very same. So if you were to compare with what he said, especially happening in careers right now, what would you say from your observation are the right use or the correct use of AI systems that will still help you, but you'll still keep your original skills and authenticity? And I can add in, personally, the way I use AI. For example, when I'm sending an email and I'm doubting my vocabulary, so I paste it on Grok and I just prompt it to instruct it to polish it for me, and then I send. I'd also like to hear your reaction. Does it take away from the authenticity, the emotion, and the human touch and feel of sending the message, like what he said, like consultancy, the impact of, you know, the message and the services?
Yeah, it's true. I can't deny AI, an ethical use of AI is now very rampant. When studies, I'm doing my postgraduate degree in finance, and you are in a semester doing this research proposal, and my supervisor said, now let's do an example of a high written project.
Yeah.
Then he told the ChatGPT, write me a proposal of effects of, let's say, financial leverage on performance of blah blah listed companies in NSE. Then it brings up a whole project. But you know, the shock is now the references. AI will hallucinate. you find very funny names. Zoo 2023. Some people who would even never exist.
Or somebody's LinkedIn profile on an article.
On an article, So the thing is, if you don't use it ethically, there will be no that originality. And something also that I've come to realize, that what precedes a skill, it's the knowledge. Yeah. You must have the knowledge, then you have the skill.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you want the skill without the knowledge, now by, let's say, pretending that you want to leverage on a high, that is plagiarism. And you know, it's more of a criminal offense.
Yeah, it's actually
a criminal offense. Another thing is AI can never be emotional. This emotional intelligence that we acquire from human interaction that AI will never have. Will never have. So the thing is, it's something that I always ask my friends also in the legal field: can AI really be regulated to have that
the human touch and feel?
not even the human touch, to now prevent the unethical use of it. Because every good thing, there's a flip side of it.
There's a merit and
a demerit of it. And also speaking about music, it's true. I did this course by Lex Career, AI Career Essentials. And there's a subtopic where there's a tool that could make music. You arrange music, the voice part, and it sounds
the vocals
perfect
and whatnot.
But you will know.
Yeah.
You will know.
But you can tell there's an AI, there's a robotic kind of
quite
tech.
obvious.
Filter-ish, hollow something, you know.
Hollow something.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, I'll say that unethical use of AI will catch up with you.
Yeah.
It will surely catch up with you.
Yeah.
So if you are into consulting space, academia, it will catch up with you because you will come up with a degree which is not authentic, a degree which you don't even have the knowledge. How will you acquire the skill?
I can imagine a nurse, a surgeon, a brain neurosurgeon who used ChatGPT, and Gen Z here being told, hey, you'll be operated by Dr. Wilson. He graduated in 2025.
University of AI.
Does that, it's worrisome for real. It warrants praying, because you can imagine him say, I'm to me a ChatGPT all along. But then also still on that, you mentioned about regulation. I remember reading about the 2025 AI Regulation Act that they debated about it in Paris. It was early in the beginning of the year. And the UK was really, I'd say, hesitant to be a part of the conversation, because they believe there's say manufacturers of AI that are exploiting human beings. And if you closely, because I skimmed through the article, there's a place where it's mentioning where there's prohibited uses of AI and prohibited uses of AI. Forms of AI that should not be allowed, especially AI that predicts character or judges character, and it publishes out there. So I believe in terms of regulation right here in Kenya, maybe if we have our own AI, we can, AI system, we can regulate it now that we have, is it the cyber crimes or the Data Act, where they're able to, at least, you can't access this because at least you must access the office of, is it the office of something data protection? At least maybe if we had that, our own LLMs here, we can be able to, but is it in a DeepSeek, ChatGPT, maybe we get taxes like the way they did to ChatGPT. What do you think of the same in terms of regulation? Maybe you can go, Shelton.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the regulatory bit, it is something we, first of all, don't have control of, because it is not our government, right? And second of all, governments are competing in AI to build AI. So in their countries, they make it as lenient as they can for this to work for them, right? It means for it to come to Kenya with all those liberal policies of theirs, it is very hard to regulate it here, right? But again, it is something that researchers have discovered, and it is more human right thing more than what they want to do, because according to human rights, you can't really make what do you call it? For example, in psychology, you're having mental episodes. According to human rights, you're not really allowed to give such advices without an expert background. And that is one of the things that is helping us so far. But ideally, currently, we don't. But if we come up with
our own LLMs.
Our something in Kenya.
I've seen Simba AI. I don't know. Is it
Simba AI.
Because I mean, it's a system not than an LLM itself.
For me,
building an LLM is extremely.
Whatever it is, for me, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, shout out to you. We talk about it here with my co-host, Simba AI.
I checked that on LinkedIn, and people were talking about when you unveil Simba AI, it is ChatGPT on the back end. For me, I really don't care whether it's ChatGPT or not.
It's a third party holding, you know.
For me, it's progress. For me, it's Kenya, we are moving, right? And it's something commendable for.
Something to be proud of.
Exactly. Okay, moving back to our topic. Ideally, Kenya has its own way of doing things, right? And I believe, as much as the government has a lot of issues right now, but I know people in policies are well qualified enough to make right decisions, especially in policies, right? And that is something that can be implemented in Kenya. We come up with ours, make our own policies.
I give an example of how I usually use it. Would you, from an IT's perspective, would you say that is the wrong use? Because I type a paragraph and I feel like maybe this adjective should not be there, or maybe I overused adjectives, or maybe I should make it brief. So I highlight the text and I paste it on Grok, and I prompt it to polish it for me. Does that take away from the authenticity of the original intended message?
For me, I believe it gives it more professionalism,
Okay.
But then again, there's some things that you can't really do that. It is not even ethical for people. Let's say we are working together, right? Probably I'm the man behind the camera, right? And then at the end of 3 months, I'm to give you a review, right?
Yeah.
And then out of my ignorance, I write you a review from an AI. How does that sound? You're getting the point,
Yeah.
right? As much as we can use it to help us ease in our vocabulary, work, and whatnot, there's some things that we have to come up ethically and say,
like think.
Yeah, we have to say, no, this is out of bound.
Yeah.
Use it professionally. You're writing a client email. Probably you're inviting someone to an interview, right?
Yeah.
You want to sound professional enough, right? And AI can help you in doing that, right? But you have to keep in mind, you have to keep being original.
Yeah.
And that is very important.
Yeah.
Because
the first email, you had a big chest.
Exactly.
The second email,
because
you're pregnant. The last one, you're single.
Yeah,
What's not happening? Yeah.
Let's say I'm your supervisor, right? And then you send these emails to clients, and then I go through them and say, this is not the guy we hired, right?
Yeah.
What is happening, right? It will make the employer kind of doubt what you can do.
Yeah.
That's why, as much as it's doing your work, you have to be also bringing the input of originality.
Especially hapo kwa cover letters.
Yeah.
Hapo kwa cover letters watu wakiandika job application. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you're a youth listening there, if you're using AI for cover letters, this is what I'm looking at the camera. You will be kicked out by another AI.
Yeah, but they now have machines that can detect.
Yeah, an AI detects your resume was written by an AI.
What if you wrote it yourself and you just polished, you pasted it on the LLM like a polish? Will it still be detected, flagged off as AI written?
It will be detected. But then the thing is, the things that probably HR teams look at, things like buzzwords, things like capability, the things that AI simply just amplifies.
Yeah.
But there are things that are actually you, right? So if it has been flagged, and if the organization is good enough, they will kind of have an HR team look at those flagged reviews, right?
The gray areas.
Yeah. And if it is just an amplification of AI, they're cool. But if it is not you, but just an AI.
Like you just prompted niandikie barua.
Exactly.
Nisema nataka kazi.
Exactly.
Ikakupea paragraph 6.
Yeah.
Ukasahau
copy paste.
Ukasahau kudelete HTTPA refer hapo you're cooked. Maybe lastly, because we have a minute before we exit, how have you used AI in your normal day-to-day work, specifically work? Yeah.
I've used AI severally, so in my work in internal audit space, because the business are evolving daily. For example, in organization where you work, business are evolving daily. You're in 21st century, and everything is data driven. So AI is simply just help you to have for example, if you're an auditor, it helps you to have a recommendation that, yes, it will not be conclusive or absolute, but a recommendation that at least is it has a high confidence level. Because I can't say that I want to do an audit of a large data set, then I go manual one by one, say this, check this one, number 2. I'll stay there the whole year, I'll waste money, I'll waste time, and a lot of things will be at stake. And another thing how I've used AI, I also used AI in my academics. Because, for example, I want to write a research proposal, I'll go to ChatGPT and ask it that give me a list of reputable journals on, let's say, green financing. Then it will give me links to the... That's now how AI should be used. I'm telling it what I want. Not AI now
giving you what it has.
Because if I tell it what I want, then I make it authentic to me. So what I can say is that AI is here with us. The only thing that we have to do now is learn to use it ethically and learn to use it to upgrade our skills, not to use it in a way of a deceptive way. of earning a way through some corridors, because
cheating your way through the process.
In chemistry, you always learn that an equation must be balanced.
Yeah.
So one day the equation will balance, and
It will balance here.
By the way, it's 10 a.m. when we have to exit, so just semeni to social media if it's necessary. If not, we can still go. If any of you sema moja tukienda.
I only use one social media, LinkedIn.
Which one? LinkedIn. Say it.
McDonald Shelton Omondi.
Right.
On LinkedIn.
Okay.
some LinkedIn Wilson Odhiambo.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It has been a short conversation, but informative. Right. And thank you so much. I've been speaking to Shelton Omondi, a software engineer, alongside Wilson Odhiambo, internal audit, risk management expert, I believe. Right? Yeah, sawa. Thank you so much to you two for watching from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I'll absolutely see you tomorrow, bright and early. See you tomorrow.